to Mexico. I like going to Latin America because it's cheaper and it's close, and I
Closer.
speak some Spanish and I can practice my Spanish.
Makes sense.
You know, I would go to Greece if I had a friend saying, yeah, let's extend the trip by 2 weeks and go to other places in Greece or near there.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of cheap, and if I'm going to spend money, I want to spend more money and make it more.
And textiles. Well, the thing, my family's primarily in Bombay and in the south, and you could spend like a month just visiting those two places.
We called it Bombay and not Mumbai.
And that's what my parents,
Yeah.
that's just how it's
Yeah.
been. I do it interchangeably.
Yeah.
But there's a whole world in northern India where all the textiles are, and the Taj Mahal and the desert and all that. So I've been there a few times, but my like more familiar nostalgic territory is west and south. So I don't know, maybe we all take 2 months off to just go traveling around in the winter. Because winter here is the perfect weather to go there. It's not, the monsoons aren't happening, it's not stiflingly hot, and it's just much more palatable to travel around. Yeah.
I read an interesting book, called Caste. Do you know that book?
I've seen the cover, I haven't read it.
She compared the caste system in India, racism and slavery in the US, and
Good. Happy to be here.
Are you, you submitted your,
I won a first prize ribbon. Yes, I just picked it up today. How did you do? Have you been judged yet? We were all judged. We're all judged. Yes.
I went this morning to Zhuzh.
Me too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I didn't see you, sorry.
No.
I have no first places, but I got 11 second places.
11 second place. Oh my God.
All of my plans but one got something. But I did enter 20, so.
What are you gonna do with all those ribbons? Like make a skirt?
Huh?
What are you doing with all the ribbons? You make a skirt?
Oh, they're just in my basement. They're in my basement. I'm not like really a ribbon person.
Yeah, fair.
But I'm like,
Hi, Fran.
no, just one blue. I would like just one.
Did you see the blues? Like, did you see in your category?
No, when I was there today, they were already taken down.
Oh, because I'm wondering, like, what was the difference between
Yeah.
yours and theirs?
Oh, so you've been to the flower show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
twice.
Oh, I didn't go through. I just checked out my place.
Yeah, I went through a little bit today, but I got a first place ribbon.
You got what?
I got a first place ribbon.
You did?
Yay! Thank you.
Start with that.
Because 11 second place is incredible.
But one first place beats all the second places.
You got 11
Which,
second place?
yeah.
Wow.
A blue is like,
I know. I was very excited.
And what did you show?
I have a witch hazel.
begonia.
Oh, I don't know
No,
what
I didn't do the
glasses
begonia.
with
She didn't do well last year. She got a little culture shock leaving.
So which,
Oh.
what,
The witch hazel,
oh,
the wooded stems.
Oh, you.
nice. Well done.
So
That's intense.
when I dropped her off on Friday, she was like very crinkled, and when I went today, she had like fully. You could smell her from down the street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
What is it?
It's a witch hazel.
A witch?
So it's a
hazel, really?
huge tree that's in the front of my house,
Oh.
and I plucked off a few branches and put them in water, and they have a whole section of just wooded branches that you can submit.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah.
How neat.
I know. Thank you.
I'm going tomorrow afternoon, so I'll look for it.
Yes, it's there again, being resubmitted for a new round of judging.
Oh, really?
I don't know what any of this means, like what category it's in, but I just go when the paperwork tells me to, and I say, here's a new number.
Right.
That's exciting.
Yes.
First place, huh?
Ah, a true thrill. As someone who never grew up with organized sports, you know, like you played soccer and everyone would get a medal. This is the closest that I'll ever get to that. Of just,
Well,
it's really nice.
yeah. I had a begonia once that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
I think they just decide to say, I don't want to be here anymore.
I mean, I had it in, well, years and years
Yeah.
ago under my television stand, and it was like this huge thing, and it was gorgeous.
And flowering and everything, I'm sure.
And then it had enough.
Yes, it said, you know what? No more. Thank you.
Right.
Oh,
So I'm going again Thursday morning.
okay. Yes, yes. It is so nice in there. We're talking, for those that are new to the game, the flower show is happening. This is the obsession.
February, early March.
The flower show is happening, and Melanie and I have submitted. There's a horticourt section, so there's the galleries where all of the landscape designs set up beautiful displays, and then there's the middle section that's the horticourt that people can submit their own house plants for ribbons. And I did it for the first time last year, and I did it again this year, and it is truly the thrill of a lifetime. Even if you don't win, just going in there and seeing the displays of things that people take such sweet care of is very, very, very impressive, and it feels like spring is coming sooner than it actually is. You're in the convention center and you're surrounded by plants, but the ribbon ceremony has been awarded. I'll wear it next week. We'll see what happens. Okay, we'll get started. For those that are just coming in, we'll use a strap today as we move towards the pose that we're moving towards. I can also bring it to you later on. Some therapy balls so we get some time to roll, and blocks and a blanket. And I'll turn the fans and heat on as needed to have the room be a little more comfortable. But sweet to be with you all. For For those of us that are new to one another, or it's been some time, my name is Anisha, and happy spring. The announcement I have that I just looked at the calendar is daylight savings is on Sunday, so this Sunday. I know, whoosh! There it comes, there it goes, which isn't officially the start of spring, but in my mind, the spring has come, regardless of the weather outside. But for the past few months, I've been teaching the same series of poses each month. So in January, we worked on Hanumanasana, or full splits, for the whole month. Last month of February, the short and sweet month, we worked on arm balances and hip openers. And this month, we're sharing stories, I am sharing stories of Shiva, the great lord of yoga, who you often see here at the very front of the studio. And now, a couple of weeks ago, it was on February 14th to the 15th, was one of the big holidays called Mahashivaratri, his big celebration that we share stories of all that he does and all that he symbolizes. If you took classes with Mariel over the February months, you might have heard some of these before, but it's always nice to hear them in a little repetition or different orientation. So for some context, Shiva is one of the three main divine masculine energies of the yoga practice. There's Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the lord of preservation, and Shiva, the lord of destruction or dissolution or transformation. And this is the most famous pose that he's well known for. It's called the Ananda Tandava, the dance of rage and joy and bliss. And over the month, I'll kind of share different characteristics and things of this deity that bring this deity a little bit more three-dimensional into life. And today, what I want to talk about really quick, because we're moving towards a pose that's kind of in reverence to him, is, for so many years, I didn't realize until I came up very close, is it looks like he's doing a lot. He's also static, but it took me so long to realize that he's dancing on the back of a baby demon. There's a tiny little demon here that gets hidden, and I didn't notice that until I've been coming here for 10 years. Maybe 2 years ago I saw it for the first time, and I said, who is that? So this demon, in Sanskrit, his name is Apasmara, which in one lineage translates to ignorance. And so one version of the story is Shiva is doing this incredible dance in a ring of fire, balancing on one foot, holding everything the world has to encounter. And he's dancing, kind of squashing ignorance down. He says, you know what? Ignorance is not what's going to be helpful here. But in the yoga tradition that we study from in the studio, it says he's not trying to ignore ignorance. He's really keeping it at bay. He's keeping it available, because the beauty of ignorance, of not knowing everything, is that it allows for you to receive even more wisdom. One anecdote that Mariel, the studio owner, shared many, many years ago, I asked her the question, if you knew everything that you knew about opening up a business, either here or the coffee shop, would you do it again? And she was like, probably not, because when you're in the start of something, what a gift it is to not know everything that's coming up ahead, because there's so many roads and paths that might deter you, that might inspire you, that might create a different direction of where you're moving towards. So as we balance on one foot today, many, many times, into some back bends, into some forward folds, the idea is to not deny yourself of what it is that you don't know. Let that be a place in which to receive and notice a little bit more wisdom of what you might not know necessarily. So we'll see where it takes us. Shiva, the great lord of destruction and yoga. His hair is also the river Ganga. Like, his entire hair is a river that flows through the entire continent of India. And he's holding all of these things in his hand that symbolize something completely different. So each time you look, you get to learn a little something new and different about yourself. So we'll see where he take us. Let's begin together in a comfortable seat, please, however that looks for you. You can start definitely lying on your back if you'd like. You might start with your legs crossed. You might be seated on your knees. And if you are in a seat, perhaps you notice what it feels like to sit up on any of your gentle propping, the edge of your blanket or your block, so that your hips naturally fall a little higher than your knees, to allow for your hip flexors to soften, your low back to lengthen, and to stack the deck in your own favor. And as your hands fall anywhere they might fall, into your lap or onto the tops of your thighs, let your eyes soften or close so you can listen for your own breath. When you close your eyes, it's a moment to turn in towards that darkness, that expansive, that cooling, that generative darkness, where you might begin to notice some gentle flashes of light or spots of color or familiar patterns or shapes that you've seen throughout your day already. And as you slowly become more familiar with the dark, can you hear and listen for that thread of your breath? Let your next inhale begin to move from your nose down into your belly and up into your chest. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very crown of your head. Let your head sit above your heart and let your heart rest above your hips. Take a few more breaths just on your own. Let each inhale move in and down so it fills you up. And exhale to offer the breath up and out through every direction of you. Let's begin our practice and our time together with 3 more rounds of that breath. You can draw your hands to center, anywhere that feels for you, on your body or in front of your heart. But as you wait for your next inhale, let it fill you up completely. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. 2 more times on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for even a moment and notice the difference that comes when you remember and really listen for your own breath. And as you keep that connection inward as best as you can, let your hands release and gently blink your eyes open. We'll stay seated just for a moment longer to take a few rounds of pranayama. So if your ankles are crossed, you might switch which shin or ankle is on top. And see if you can sit up nice and tall, letting your head, heart, and hips be in one long line. Now for this round of Kapalbhati, this breath of fire, you'll start by taking a breath and a long breath out. And in a moment, you'll focus on the exhales, moving your belly back towards your spine. And directly, there's tissue boxes in here, there's sleeves in here, anything you need as the sinuses start to move. But on your inhale, start to take a breath. Breathe into your belly and up into your chest. And exhale completely through the nose as you let the top of your head grow taller. You might keep your eyes open or softly closed as you take a half breath in and begin lips closed, exhale through the nose. Keep following your pace rather than my voice. You can continue at this rate, go slower or faster. But focus on the belly pumping back towards the spine to feel the heat begin to build and rise. We'll be here for 10 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a big breath in through the nose. Sniff in more at the very top. And exhale through the nose as you offer that breath out. We'll do that one more round, this breath of fire to build heat from the inside. So follow your pace. Slow breath in through the nose. Long breath out through the nose as you grow taller through the crown of your head. And now halfway in and begin at your pace. A breath to warm the belly, to awaken the diaphragm, to build the heat within yourself. Continue for 10 more seconds following your pace. Let your spine stay tall. Let the shoulders soften. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a big breath in. Slowly reach your arms forward and up. Stiffen more breath at the top. Stay for the exhale as you grow 1 inch taller through the fingertips. Fill your belly and up into your chest. Come forward to tabletop. Let's start to link breath and movement together through a few rounds of cat and cow. Your blocks might frame out the top corners of your mat. Perhaps you use them as we start to move around. And in your table, let your hands be under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and begin to curl your toes under to feel the arches of your feet. If you haven't started already, start to round and arch your spine, moving with your breath through a few rounds of cat and cow. Let's take 5 cycles of breath here together, just on your own. Noticing what it feels like to almost peel back the layers of yourself, not just moving your body in isolation, but letting your breath begin to enhance, enliven, and inform your movement. You might even sniff in a drop more at the top of each inhale, and let your exhales get longer than your last round as all of the breath pours out. When you find your next exhale, come back to table, find your neutral spine. Begin to walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Bring them as wide as your mat. Walk your knees back a few inches behind your hips. And with your toes curled under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take all of the breaths and all the time you need to find your way there. In your down dog for today, bring your feet a centimeter wider than they all are already. Give yourself a little more room. And now lift both heels and take a tiny bend in your knees to let the backs of your legs release. With your knees soft, stick your butt up and back towards the wall behind you. And now keep your left knee bent as you pedal just the right heel to the earth. Notice what you feel in the back of the right leg, breathing. Soften your knee, lift your butt high to the sky, and pedal the opposite heel to the ground, noticing what you feel in the calf, the back of your leg, and any other region. And at the bottom of your breath, lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your palms and come into your forward fold. You might find your blocks underneath your hands so the floor can rise to meet you where you are. Maybe you widen your feet or soften your knees to give your low back a little extra room. But take a breath as you bow in towards yourself, a longer breath in, and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. After a few breaths here, let your hands come to your hips, stand through your legs, and a big inhale to come all the way up to stand as your hands float by your sides. Let your feet be right underneath your hips. On an inhale, reach your arms forward and up to the ceiling. As you exhale, softly hinge at your hips to fold. On an inhale, come up halfway, hands to your blocks or shins as you reach your chest forward. And on your exhale, fold, plant your palms and step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. In your plank, without moving your legs, can you hug your legs towards each other like they could become one energetic pillar? Now, without moving your hands, hug your palms towards each other. Feel the forearms engage. Slide your ears back so your head is in line with your chest. A big breath in. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down onto your belly. Let those hands stay as wide as your mat. Inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra as you lift your chest. And on your exhale, take it back to down dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. Let the next breath move from your nose into your belly. And as you exhale, if you're in down dog, press through your palms to lift your butt up and back towards the wall behind you. A deeper breath in to fill the belly and up into the heart. And a longer breath out through every direction of you. At the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels. Take your time, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward, feet to your hands into your standing forward fold. Wait for your inhale to come up halfway to lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in, Uttanasana. Use your own fists to measure your feet about 2 fists width apart, generally hip distance. And with your toes pointing straight ahead, begin to bend your knees, sit your hips back, and slide your palms to your thighs for this round of chair pose. Now an invitation to take one more round of that Kapalbhati, that breath of fire, or feel the rhythm of your breath. But as you take a big breath in through the nose, fill your belly and chest. Stay for your exhale, sit 1 inch lower to the earth as you lift your heart. Now inhale halfway as you begin. Feel the belly pump back towards the spine. Let the hips stay heavy. And as you press into your thighs, keep lifting your heart away from the ground. Here for 10 more seconds, belly to spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay seated as you take a big breath in through the nose. Stay seated as you take a longer breath out through your nose or mouth. And now on an inhale, slowly come up to rise. Reach your arms forward and up to the sky. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. And with your hands high up on your blocks or fingertips on either side of your right foot, wiggle your left toes back an inch more. Now wait for the breath. As you inhale, stay in the lunge, lift your heart. And on your exhale, fold and straighten your right knee as you bow in. Let's do that 2 more times. Slow breath in brings you through to lunge. Grow long through the spine. And as you exhale, fold as your right leg straightens. 1 more. Wait for your inhale as you come through to lunge. And take the entire exhale to fold as your right leg straightens. Now with that right leg straight, take a few breaths here to pause. Lift your back heel, knee, and thigh higher away from the ground. Try to wrap your left hip to the front of the room and tack your right hip to the back of your mat. Now keeping your hips as steady as they are, maybe you begin to ground your left heel towards the back of your mat for a bonus calf stretch. You might press down and forward into your blocks to flex your right foot to just be on the right heel. But a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. The elbows might soften as you bow in towards that straight right leg. Nice, y'all. On an inhale, back it up. Lower the foot, bend your right knee, look forward, and take all the hops you need to bring your left foot to meet your right. As you inhale, come up halfway to lengthen, grow longer through your heart, and exhale to fold in towards yourself. That second side, keep your left foot forward, step your right foot back to your lunge, come up onto blocks or fingertips as you wiggle the right toes back 1 more inch. Now with your breath, more than my voice, inhale to lift the heart, stay in the lunge. As you exhale, fold and straighten your left knee. Twice more, big inhale through to lunge. Wait for the exhale to fold and bow in. 1 more time, take a long breath. There's no rush. Come through to your lunge. And the 3rd time you straighten that left leg, pause here for a few breaths. In this version of pyramid pose, those hips sometimes want to spiral open to the right. So when you lift your back heel, it'll help adjust those hips. You might be able to move your right hip to the front of your mat, tack your left hip to the back of your mat. And as those hips stay pointing forward, maybe your right heel gets heavier to the back of your mat itself. You might flex your left foot so you're just on the left heel. But a full breath that moves you in, down, and wide. As you exhale, try to unclench your fingers around the blocks or the floor and maybe bow in towards that straight left leg. Wait for your next breath to back it up. Bend your left knee, plant your palms onto the sticky mat, and step it back to downward facing dog. Let those hands come as wide as your mat, and on an inhale, come forward to plank pose. Wait for your exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise, Bhujangasana Cobra. And on your exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, lift your right leg up and back. Step your right foot through or around to catch your lunge, and begin to pivot your hands and feet over to the left as you come into your wide-legged forward fold. You might bring blocks with you to come underneath your hands, but take a tiny bend in your knees, especially if they tend to lock out. And now, without moving your legs, can you hug your feet towards one another? Feel those inner thighs engage. Keep that as you take a full breath in. And on your exhale, let the elbows soften as you bow in towards the earth. Each inhale, hug the legs, the feet, the thighs towards each other. And as you keep that steadiness in the legs, let your spine get heavier, cascading towards the earth. Now let your head stay low. Begin to turn your right knee and toes to catch your lunge. Hands frame out your right foot, and on a slow, steady inhale, come up to rise for high lunge as your arms reach to the sky. You might walk your right foot an inch over to the right. Let those feet be on train tracks. But like in that pyramid, lift your back heel, knee and thigh high. Stretch up through the fingertips, and now bend into your front leg. With your hands onto your hips, a tiny bend in your back knee, get springy. And as you come up to stand, scoop your left thigh up towards your chest. Stand down through your right leg, grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head. And as you lower your left foot to the floor, feel gravity underneath you. Bend your knees, sit your butt back into chair. No more of those breaths of fire, but a figure 4. Lean into your left foot, lift your right heel, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh for standing pigeon. Do the best that you can to flex your right foot to support your right knee and ankle. And as you sit way back into a tiny little chair, can you lift your heart and even your gaze away from the floor? On your next inhale, come all the way up to rise. One more time, lower your feet to the ground and reach your right arm forward and up. A side bend as you reach up and over to the left. Breathe into the right side waist. Now your hand might stay on your hip. Your left hand might grab your right wrist. But as you tip to the left, think bottom ribs back. Bring your ears back in space to lift your chin. And tip 1 more inch over to the left-hand side. On an inhale, come all the way back up. Reach up to touch the sky. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Plant those palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat for downward facing dog. A few more times together. Inhale through to your plank. Take your entire exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your inhale to rise, Bhujangasana Cobra. And on your exhalation, we meet in downward facing dog. A deeper breath in through the nose and a longer breath out through the nose or mouth. For the second side, no surprises, so know the direction we're moving. As you lift your left leg up, step your left foot through or around to catch your lunge. If you have your strap close by, you might bring your strap with you as you pivot your hands and feet to the right for that wide-legged forward fold on the second side. This time we'll add a shoulder stretch. So I love to hold the strap between my hands to give your chest and your shoulders a little more room. Or you're more than welcome to interlace your fingers, but start with a big bend in your elbows. Hug your shoulder blades together. And now begin to reach your arms off of your butt towards the sky. At the last second, sometimes the elbows want to lock out. Keep a micro bend in your elbows and a micro bend in your knees. And as you hug your feet towards each other, tug your strap apart, Feel the shoulder blades kiss on the upper back, and maybe reach your arms overhead towards the long edge of your mat. A full breath in and a deeper breath out. As you slowly release your hands back to your butt, ditch your strap to the side. We'll use it later. Turn your left knee and toes through to lunge, and follow your inhale to rise for high lunge on the second side. Let your back heel, knee, and thigh lift. Try to look away from the ground and maybe stretch up 1 more inch through the fingertips. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend into your left thigh as you grow taller through the crown of your head. Your hands might stay overhead and you might bring them to your hips, but a tiny bend in your back knee. Take all the hops you need to scoop your right thigh up. Stand down through your left leg, grow 3 inches taller through the crown of your head, and lower both feet to the ground. Maybe hands are overhead or to your hips, but as you bend your knees, sit way back into chair, lean into your right foot, lift your left heel, and this time cross your left ankle over the right thigh for standing figure 4. Anywhere your hands go to steady you, onto your hips, in front of your heart, up overhead. Remember the breath. Take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Think butt heavy to the back of your mat as you lift your chest and maybe your gaze away from the floor. On your next breath in, come all the way up to rise. Lower your feet to the ground. With your right hand on your hip, reach your left arm up to the sky. Inch taller and up and over to the right for standing crescent on the second side. Let your hand stay where it is. You might let your right hand grab your left wrist, but as you reach up and over to the right, think ears back to lift your chin. Let there be space for breath to come through, and maybe one or both arms come back in line with your ears. On your inhale, come back up through center, reach up to touch the sky. And as you exhale, fold in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet all the way back to bring it to downward facing dog. And this time, from your down dog, inhale through to plank pose. And exhale to lower all the way onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, reach your arms alongside of you and flip your palms down to face the floor. We'll rise to locust in just but a moment, but as you let your forehead or your chin soften to the ground, feel your legs behind you in space. Now, without moving them, can you energetically hug your legs towards each other like they could become one pillar of lightning energy? Press your palms into the floor and hug the shoulder blades together. On your next inhale, start to lift your head, lift your heart, float your arms up off of the earth, and exhale to lift your legs up and away from the ground. As you take flight, let your eyes soften or close, and remember the full fluency of your breath. With each inhale, think inner thighs hug towards each other, and the insides of your legs lift to the sky. As you exhale, can you hug the shoulder blades together and lift your palms 1 more centimeter, a bigger breath in. And on your exhale, release, lower down to the ground. You might make a pillow with your hands, rest on one side of your cheek or on your forehead, but call yourself back to the full depth of your breath. A deep belly breath in to let the low back broaden, and a longer breath out. An even deeper breath from belly up into the heart, and let the whole back of your body widen with breath. Good. After a few breaths here, you'll stay on your belly as we come in for the first of the thigh stretches here on the ground, half frog. So keep a pillow with your left hand. Let your forehead rest on your left palm. And as you bend your right knee, reach your right hand around for the top of this belly down thigh stretch. Good. You might grab your strap. You might grab the leg of your pants. But sometimes when the knee bends, the right thigh wants to open up to the right. So press your right thigh down into your sticky mat. Hug your thighs towards one another. And as you shrug your right shoulder up and back away from the floor, take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Think these two actions simultaneously. You're drawing your right heel towards your butt cheek while you're pushing your right foot into your hand. On your next breath, release the hold of your right foot. Take a breath as you switch sides, a pillow with your right hand. Bend your left knee and let your left hand reach out and around to hold on to the top of the foot. Can you press your left thigh down into your sticky mat and hug the inner thighs towards each other? And as you shrug your left shoulder up and away from the floor, remember the breath. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out as you push your left foot into your hand while drawing the heel towards your left butt cheek. Nice, y'all. Inhale to release the hold of that leg. Bring your hands to either side of your chest. Press up through to tabletop or plank pose. And on your exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog as you lift your butt up and back to the wall behind you. In your down dog, take a long breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. A few more things before we get to where we're going. Lift your right leg to the sky and come into pigeon pose. So right knee to your right wrist as you lower your shin down onto the ground. Again, if for any reason pigeon doesn't feel suitable on the hip or knee, you'll come into your lizard lunge variation. But in that pigeon, see if your right knee can come as wide as the right side of your mat and come up high up onto your blocks or fingertips in front of that foot. Now press your left knee down into your sticky mat, hug your knee forward. You'll feel your butt start to get lighter. And bend your back knee to lift your back toes up off the floor. A thigh stretch revisited. Keep your right hand connected to your block or to the ground and let your left hand reach around for the top of the left foot. That's it. As you find and hold the foot with a strap or your own hand, bottom ribs move back. The shoulder blades hug as you slide the throat back to lift your chest and your gaze. Remember that breath, a full breath that goes in and down. Stay for one more exhale as the breath moves up and out in every direction. Now on an inhale, slowly release the hold of your back foot. Just for a moment, lower your forearms down onto the ground and interlace your fingers. As you bring the webbing of your hands together, take a look at your wrists. Tuck your left toes under and lift your left knee and thigh away from the floor and slide your right leg back to meet your left for forearm plank pose. Now, whether the knees are lifted or you might tap your knees to the floor behind your hips, hug your legs together as if they could become one pillar of energy. And as you reach your tush, your tailbone back towards your heels, slide your heart and your gaze forward, breathing. Take a full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through the nose or mouth. Take one more, fill your belly and up into your chest, and a longer breath out in every direction of you. Now lower the knees down to the floor, lower your belly, your chest. You can make a pillow with your hands, rest on your forehead or on one side of your cheek, and call yourself back to your breath, in through your nose, and all the way out through the nose or mouth. Okay. We cannot ignore the other side. There's still a left. We got to do the other one. So after a few breaths, come on up to tabletop or plank pose and make your way back to downward facing dog as your hips lift to the sky, breathing. From your down dog, lift your left leg up and back. Bring your left leg through to either pigeon or lizard lunge. Remember, depending on what you're working with in each knee or hip, it can be very different. But if you are in that pigeon, instead of the knee in line with the hip, see if you can bring it as wide as your mat. With your hands on your fingertips, I like to come up onto blocks to really give myself a lot of space, but hug your back knee forward. Now, as the right knee hugs forward, bend your back knee to lift your back toes up off the floor. You can stay here the whole time. Or with your left hand connected, reach your right hand around for the right foot, Wah, just like you did in the thigh stretch before. Remember the breath itself. This is a big back bend already, so sometimes the ribs and belly want to move forward. Can you slide the bottom ribs back, hug the shoulder blades together, and slide your ears back so your head sits above your heart. A deep breath in and down. Stay for your exhale as you lift your heart, lift your gaze, and soften the space between the eyebrows. That's it. On an inhale, release the hold of your foot. Last time, lower your forearms down onto the floor. When you interlace your fingers, see if you can take the awkward thumb on top. And now curl the right toes under, lift your right knee and thigh, and step your left foot back to meet your right for forearm plank round 2. Knees up or down, but with your breath, hug the legs together. Think tail towards your heels as you slide the heart forward to grow longer. A big breath in and down. Stay for the exhale as you offer the breath out. And now a teeny bend in your knees, and 1 foot at a time, start to walk your feet up towards your elbows and come into dolphin pose. So like down dog, but it's your forearms on the ground. As you walk your feet up towards your elbows, stick your butt high to the sky. Push your pinkies, your wrists, your forearms down. Lift your butt up 1 more inch. And then into that, you might tiptoe your feet 1 centimeter further forward. 1 more breath in. And a deeper breath out. And 1 foot at a time, start to walk your feet all the way back to forearm plank. Slide the heart forward. A huge breath in. And on your exhale, lower your knees, your belly, your chest. Make a pillow as you take a breath to rest. I know it's a silly joke, but the gift of ignorance is you didn't know what was coming up today in class. And if I knew on the docket we were doing forearm planks, I would say, interesting. Maybe I'll be drinking water for this period of time. But the ignorance itself is not something that we don't pay attention to, but we help it inform and notice the difference that we're moving to next. So after a few breaths, come up through to tabletop, please. We'll meet in downward facing dog just for a moment longer. And let's get off those hands as you make your way to down dog. Walk your feet to come as wide as your mat, a tiny bend in your knees, and 1 hand at a time, you might begin to walk your hands back to your feet to fold somewhere at the back of your mat. Now let your knees be soft. Let your head be heavy as you bow in towards yourself, breathing. After a few breaths, with your hands to your hips, wait for your inhale to come all the way up to rise. As your hands come down by your sides. Warmer? Okay, the time has come to balance on 1 foot until we come to lie down. So we've done this pose a couple of times already. For this version of Nattarajasana dancer pose, we'll try it once on the right, once on the left, then 2 more times on the right or the left with the option. So for a total of 6. Yeah? Some options include, coming up to the wall so 1 hand can hold the wall. You can also always keep 1 foot on the ground and explore what it feels like to balance on 1 leg. But start first by coming somewhere to the middle of your mat. Let your feet be hip width apart. And bring your hands to your hips. Now take a tiny bend in your knees, because as soon as the knees lock, that's when things start to get more wobbly. Lean all of your weight into your right foot, lift your left heel, and as you bend your left knee, let your left hand reach around for the top of the foot, like you did lying on your belly. Soften your right standing knee, hug your thighs towards each other, and as you shrug your left shoulder up and back, begin to push your foot back into your hand. You might keep your hand on your hip. You might bring your right hand to your chest. You might reach your right arm up overhead. But as you push your foot back into your hand, can you lift your heart, lift your gaze as you grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head, breathing. On your next inhale, slowly release that leg, lower your feet to the ground, and feel gravity steady you. Nice. 1 out of 6. Let's go for the other side. Knees soft, hands to your hips, and go slow as you lean into your left foot, lift your right heel, and begin to bend your right knee so your right hand can reach for the foot. For me, when the left knee locks out, that's when things start to get wobbly. Soften the standing knee and hug those thighs towards each other. Now, as you push your foot back into your hand, shrug your right shoulder up and back. Let your right hand come anywhere it steadies you as you remember your breath. A deeper breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Lift your heart, lift your gaze as you push your foot back into that hand. Nice. As you inhale, come all the way back through center. Lower your feet. Feel gravity steady you. 2 out of 6. Nice. Third of the way there. So we'll do that one more time. And now one option to present is, we've played with this, if you've been in class for a few times, we've played with this different orientation to gravity. And I always say, if you see what I'm about to offer next and you say, Anisha, I do not want to do that, no obligation to do so whatsoever. So one more variation in this version. You might bring your foot up onto a block. I call this the platform shoe height or the balance beam height. But depending on what you're working with in the ankle and feet, one or neither might be appropriate. So here it's the same way. One foot comes onto the block. You soften your standing knee and reach your hand back for the foot. And the same actions, the thighs hug in, the foot presses back as you lift your chest up. Yeah? And then to come out, you lower down. If you saw the block and you said, I'd rather not, feet on the floor, just like we did a second ago. But I really want you to think about hugging the thighs towards each other and lifting your chest up. So let's try it the second side with your feet on the floor or right foot on a block. That's the second side, right? Right foot on a block? Right foot down, thank you. Right foot on a block, lift your left leg. Begin to bend your left knee and draw your left heel towards your tush. Soften your standing knee, there's no rush. Hug your thighs towards each other, and as your right hand comes to your hip or in front of your heart or up overhead, slowly push your foot back into your hand, breathing in through the nose and all the way out through the nose or mouth. Take one more breath, push back through the foot, lift your heart, even lift your gaze, and then slowly come all the way out. Nice, y'all. When I first learned that he was standing on the back of a demon, and every time I did dancer pose, that bottom foot would be weebling, I'm like, yeah, of course, if I was standing on the back of a baby body, my foot would also be wobbling. So the dance of this pose, it's not necessarily from here, but it's from the ankle moving to kind of adapt to see where you are. So let's do the last side for this round. Block underneath the left foot if you used it, or left foot on the floor. Lean into your left foot and lift your right foot off the earth. Bend your right knee. Let your right hand catch the top of the foot. Unlock your standing knee. Let it be soft. And as you hug the thighs together, push your foot back to lift your heart up. Let your left hand go anywhere it steadies you. Think foot back, ribs back as you lift your heart, breathing in through the nose and all the way out through the nose or mouth. Nice. On your breath, when the time comes, there's no rush. Release, arm and leg down to the floor and take a breath. How'd that go? It looked good. I always make this joke, so those that have been coming to class here just hearing the stand-up comedy again. But anytime I stand on a block like this, I think, is this what people in concerts feel like? Like you can just see over and above every single person. One day I'll get a platform shoe this way. Okay, last round, and then we'll move on to coming down to the floor. So for this one, the version that we just did called Natarajasana, it's called dancer pose. This other variation called Shiva Natarajasana is experimenting with the hands behind the head. So again, we've done this a few times, maybe together in class, but just to review, it'll look like this in a second, where one foot comes into the strap, and I'll talk you through all of this in a moment. You cross your handles, and you step the other foot over. Instead of behind, you step it over and through like lunge. And now, like a lunge, bend this front knee, lean forward, and lift your foot up off the floor. You might have enough slack on the strap so that your elbows can point up to the sky. Now, common tendencies of sometimes what happens are, one, this standing knee straightens and this knee goes out. No one looks like this, just over-exaggerating. I want you to think, unlock your standing knee, hug your thighs together, and then as you begin to press the foot back, you lift your heart. Maybe your hands start to walk down the strap towards the foot, and it's thigh to center, foot back, as you lift your heart up. Wah. And then to come out, the strap slowly releases as you lower your feet to the ground. Yeah? Stages, take your time and move at your own pace. But let's try side to side. So a big jump rope with the strap. If you haven't picked a foot already, you can bring your left foot into the strap and cross the handles. Make a little bow over your foot. Now step your right foot over and through as you lean forward. Lean into your right leg, bend your right knee, and as you lift your left foot up off the ground, begin to draw your elbows to the sides and then up overhead. That's it. Hug your left thigh to the middle. Push your foot back into the strap to lift your heart. And now stay here, or maybe both edges of the strap come together as your hands walk down the strap and you dial it back in. Unlock your standing knee. Hug the left thigh to center. Push your foot back to lift your heart up, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. And then to come out slowly. Sometimes you get flung, but you might release the strap as you lower your feet to the floor. Nice, y'all. Final boss of doing that pose is doing it on the block. We're not doing that today, but 10 rounds of Shiva Natanajasana. Questions about it? Last side? Okay, last side. Find your strap. Bring it around the ball or the arch of your right foot, the other leg. As you cross your handles, make a little bow over the foot and step your left foot over and through. Now bend your left knee. Think lunge. Lean forward. Keep that as you start to lift your right foot up off the ground, drawing your heel towards your tush. Unlock the standing knee. Hug the right thigh to the middle and push your foot all the way back into the strap as you lift your right heel to the sky. Your hands might walk down the strap towards that foot as you dial it back in. Unlock the standing knee. Push your foot back, ribs back to lift your heart. Now one more breath. Stay for the exhale. Try to release the gripping of your fingers around the strap. And then slowly release. Come all the way out and ditch your strap to the side. Nice. Come to stand somewhere to the top of your mat. Let your feet be wide. And now a little rinse cycle, a big breath in to reach your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, a generous bend in your knees as you hinge and fold over your legs. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat to bring it back to downward facing dog. And now in your down dog, do lift your heels and soften your knees. With your knees soft, think butt up and back towards the wall behind you. And send the ribs back. We're trying to get all those curves back through the spine. Now, as much as you can keep your hips lifted, you might straighten your legs by pressing the thighs back, not simply locking the knees, but tops of your thighs back and letting your heels get heavy to the earth. Breathing in through the nose and all the way out through your nose or mouth. Now from your down dog, lower your knees, come into table. In a moment, you'll come to flip over onto your back with your head to the front, feet to the back. Have your therapy balls within a grabbable distance And have a block somewhere that you can reach it. And if anyone needs therapy balls, feel free to come lay down. I got you, Lisa, and I'll bring some over to you. But as you come to lay onto your back, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. And let your hands either rest on your belly or come out to the side like a big T. With your feet wide, knees wide, drop both of your knees over to the right like windshield wipers on a car. Yes. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center. And a big exhale to drop your knees over to the left. One more with your breath. Inhale to bring the knees back up. And a full exhale out as the knees drop to the right. A steady breath in as the knees come back up through center. And last one, as you exhale, let your knees drop to the left. Now on your inhale, as your knees come up through center, scooch your hips an inch to the left side of your mat. Cross your left thigh all the way over your right thigh, almost like eagle pose, like you're seated in a chair. And drop both of your knees to the right hand side. Good. Your hands might rest on your belly or on your chest or off to the side like a big T. But as your legs and knees get heavy to the right, let the back of your head soften to the floor. You might keep your gaze steady up to the ceiling, or you might let your gaze drop over to the right towards your knees, letting the right corner of your eye, your right cheek, and the right side of your jaw soften and widen into the floor as you breathe. On your next inhale, draw your head back through center, uncross your legs as your legs come through center. And as you scooch your hips a few inches over to the right, just so you stay on your mat, cross your right thigh over your left thigh, and let your knees drop to the left. Let your breath slow and steady you down. A deeper breath in through the nose, and a longer breath out through the nose or mouth, perhaps letting your gaze travel to the left, letting the left cheek, the left side of your jaw, and the left corner of your eye get heavier and wider into the earth. On your next inhale, as you draw your knees and feet and head back through center, give both of your legs a hug in towards your belly or chest. We've done a lot of one-legged asymmetrical work this afternoon. So as you pause here or come towards happy baby as you widen your knees and thighs, see if there can be some symmetry between the right and left and front and back of your body as you breathe. A deeper breath in through the nose. And on your exhale, take your time to release your legs down to the ground. This afternoon, I'll talk you through therapy balls in the back of the head. We haven't done this one in a while, but if you'd like to set up early for rest, that's also an option because we'll meet you there momentarily. And now it's up to you. You can keep the therapy balls in the tote or take them out. But as you hold the therapy balls in your hands, you'll gently lift your head up and bring the therapy balls to the very bottom of your skull. We all have those two bony points at the base of your skull, your occipital lobes. If it doesn't feel too tender, you can bring the therapy balls right onto those points, or closer or wider apart. But as your elbows drop down to the sides and your head gets heavy, take a full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. And now on your own, begin to slowly nod your head yes and gently nod your head no, letting the weight of your head stay heavy on those therapy balls. I find if I don't hold on to them gently, they tend to slip out of the way. But feel free to continue to let your head go yes and no as you remember your breath. Now, after a few breaths at the base of your skull, the next time you come through center, bring the therapy balls another inch higher, more to the middle of your skull. Again, they can be touching, they can be wider apart, but as your elbows drop down, take a big breath in and really open your mouth to let that breath out. On your own, start to slowly nod your head yes, and gently nod your head no. When you nod your head no to the right, you might nod your head yes when you're there, or make small circles. Same to the left, even gently open and close your mouth to notice any sensation in the back of the skull and jaw. And then after a few breaths in the bottom and middle of the skull, release the therapy balls off to the side and let the weight of your head drop down to the earth. A breath or two into what you don't ordinarily see, but you might be able to feel. And now here for the next few moments, as you take your time to set up for Shavasana, your pose of rest. Give yourself anything it is that you need, any layers you'd like to add, any props to support yourself. You might let your hair down or set your glasses safely off to the side. But can you set yourself up to be as comfortable as humanly possible? You might be laying on your back, curled onto your side, or even laying on your belly. But as you drape your body onto the earth in any way, shape, or form, can you feel and listen for the full fluency of your breath? Let each round and cycle of your breath begin to dissolve the entire practice that was. Let each breath help you arrive to where you are now. And every breath that comes after creates a little more space for what has yet to come. So as you allow for each breath to let your body get heavier into the earth, the heavier you become, the more spacious you might just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Take another breath in and down so it fills you up completely. And a longer breath up and out in every direction. Begin to let your breath slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels supportive to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you gently tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against the earth. Or just being mindful of any neighbors or props. Perhaps your arms reach away from your legs, or you draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, you can bend both knees, reach your arms overhead as you roll over to any side of your choice. A few breaths here, and with the least amount of effort required, press into the ground and come up to rise to a tall seat, just as we started, facing the front of the room. As you draw your hands to center anywhere that might feel for you, we'll close our time with one round of breath as you take a deep breath in to offer all of it out. You might bow your head to your heart or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple yet sincere gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to each other who practiced right alongside next to you. And I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you. Hey, congratulations to you. Drink water, take care of yourselves. It's going to be 74 on this weekend, so whatever that means for you. That's what the internet is saying now, and I'm holding on to it with every fiber of my being. Yes, Molly. Announcements. Molly, who owns Molly's Books and Records in the Italian market.
We're having a meet and greet this evening with Chris Rapp, who's a progressive congressional candidate. Tonight at 6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30 at the shop.
At the shop.
Thank you. Always so many great events going up and through. I love it. Thank you for keeping announcing them. Yeah. The other announcement that I have for the studio, he offered this last, I think in the fall, or maybe it's been a year, but Kai, who graduated teacher training from here last year, who also owns his own security detail firm, I think. Check the receipts for the actual information because I notoriously give the incorrect things. But he's offering a 4-week series called Rooted and Ready, Self-Defense. Oh yeah, it is 4 weeks starting March 16th. It's each week you kind of break down the fundamentals of self-defense, and he's such a phenomenal teacher. You can pop in for one, for none, for all, but all of that's on the internet. But that's going to be on Monday nights. And otherwise, spring, baby. She's coming. Flower show's going on until Saturday. New events and things happening there. And I'll see you soon. Till Sunday. Oh, it's still Sunday. Great. I have deemed it Saturday. I will do that. Thank you. Thank goodness I have you, because otherwise I would be flying.